Well, active duty military personnel are right now standing by to be deployed to help contain the wildfires in Los Angeles as fire crews race to contain the blazes before conditions deteriorate.
Let's go live this morning to Nine's US correspondent Lauren Tomasi in the Pacific Palisades. Lauren, good morning to you. Crews have made some good gains, but the winds are expected to pick up.
Yes, these relentless Santa Ana winds, Sarah and Carl, which just keep on coming through. Bit of a breeze right now, but the problem is they're expected to pick right up again tonight and into the next right across the Los Angeles County this morning. There are now tens of thousands of people who have been evacuated from these fire zones, and so many of them are just desperate to get back to their houses or into the zones like here at the Pacific Palisades to see what is left. The problem is authorities say it is just too dangerous because these fires are continuing on. There has been a little bit of progress overnight, which is some good news for these crews. The Big Eaton fire is now 27% contained, and where I am in the Palisades, still only at 11% containment. But look, that is something, and it has just burnt through such an extraordinary amount. But amid all of this, you've got President-elect Donald Trump, who is now lashing out at California's response. He took to social media this morning to say the fires are still raging in LA. The incompetent Poles have no idea how to.
I called for him to come out, take a look for himself. We want to do it in the spirit of an open hand, not a closed fist. What the hell happened? What happened to the water system? Was it, and by the way, was it just overwhelm? Was it pipes? Was it electricity? It was a combination of pipes, electricities, and pumps. Did it contribute in any way to our inability to fight the fire, or were 99-mile-an-hour winds determinative and there was really no firefight that could have been more meaningful?
Yeah, certainly on the defensive, and plenty of questions to answer. We'll be back to Lauren very shortly, but just horrific scenes out of there over the last week, haven't they?
Oh, it's incredible to see. And you can look at the topography, which makes it even more complicated for firefighters trying to battle this. It's dangerous. It's just out of control.
All right, over to you, Jane.
Thanks, guys. New South Wales Police is urging people to come forward while you can as counter-terrorism investigators look into a string of hate crimes on Sydney synagogues. Live to Nine Sydney reporter Bianca Balzer at Newtown Synagogue. Bianca, police also say that these sorts of attacks are escalating.
Jane, they do. Before we show you any further pictures, I will warn that some people might find these offensive. Not only was this synagogue spray painted with 10 red swastikas, but police have also found evidence that an accelerant was used in an attempt to light a fire. Thankfully, it didn't take hold, but it is serious. And now the counter-terrorism squad is investigating. They've released these images of two people who are wanted for questioning. So far, no one has come forward yet. This is one of 7 major acts of anti-Semitism that have been reported in New South Wales this week. Another one that police are investigating is vandalism at a synagogue in Alawa. Now, they have released CCTV of that and quite clear images of the suspects involved. However, again, no one has come forward. The Premier, Chris Minns, yesterday saying it's disappointing despite how clear these images are.
I want to make it very clear that that image was very clear. It did identify that individual, and there is someone out there in the community today who knows who this person is. You've got an obligation to report that to Crime Stoppers or the New South Wales Police.
Police are taking these hate crimes incredibly seriously. We've had patrol cars coming past here this morning trying to ensure that there are no further threats to this community here in Newtown, and we're seeing that right across the city. Of course, the anti-Semitic behaviour in Sydney and around the world has been on the rise amid the ongoing war in Gaza, but anyone who has something to say is urged to do so peacefully. Jane?
Bianca, thank you. New overnight, an 18-year-old learner driver has been arrested after a pursuit ended with a crash in Sydney's west. Police initiated that pursuit just after 10 o'clock when a female driver allegedly failed to stop in Guildford. The car speeding around a corner before it crashed into a tree. Both the driver and an 18-year-old male passenger were taken to hospital. A woman is in hospital this morning with burns after a unit went up in flames in Melbourne's northeast. Residents from 31 apartments were forced to evacuate after the blaze broke out in Preston on the 3rd floor just after 11. Firefighters will remain on scene until specialist investigators arrive later this morning. A man is in hospital after he was struck in the head with a machete in Melbourne's south. Police believe he was approached in St Kilda by two men who demanded he pass over his keys at around 9 o'clock before he was then hit. Police scoured the area, but both offenders remain on the run this morning. A person is now being questioned over a shooting in Queensland's southeast. It left a man fighting for life after he was allegedly shot in the chest in Logan's Eagleby on Saturday night. Two boys remain behind bars this morning after allegedly leading police on a high-speed stolen car chase across Adelaide. CCTV captures the moment three flee that Holden Commodore at Ridleyton before police pounce, the car then taking off with the trio still inside. The sedan allegedly reached speeds of 190 kilometres an hour, with it all coming to an end in Preston. Officers arrested 6 boys, 2 of them just 13 years old. NBL player Jackson McCoy has been granted bail after he was charged with domestic violence offences hours before a game at Sydney Olympic Park. The 24-year-old was arrested on Saturday, accused of assaulting a woman at Oxley Park in November 2023.
Jackson, do you have anything to say about these allegations?
No, not at all. It's just been a huge misunderstanding. I'm letting my lawyers in the courts handle it. Not worried about anything. I'm free. Like I said, just a big misunderstanding.
The matter is also being looked into by Basketball Australia's Integrity Unit. The search for a missing skipper in Western Australia's south has been suspended. Friends of 77-year-old Morris Saunderson raised the alarm 3 days ago, sparking a major operation. Police say the experienced sailor's phone was pinged off the coast of Walpole on Tuesday. He was last seen setting off on a white 9-metre yacht from Albany's Emu Point on December 29 en route to Busselton. Well, it is a big day ahead for the Australian Open today after wild thunderstorms wreaked havoc on play yesterday. Live now to Christine Ahern at Melbourne Park. Christine, one of the Open's biggest draw cards will be in action today.
Jane, you don't get any bigger than Nick Kyrgios. He's actually going to be playing his first Grand Slam match in 2 years after overcoming wrist and knee injuries. And he'll be playing world number 86, Jacob Fernley. Now, Nick Kyrgios says there'll be no more clowning around because he's taking this comeback really seriously. We'll have to wait and see if that is true. But one thing that will be for certain is that he's going to have plenty of support because he's going to be playing on his favourite court, John Cain Arena. Of course, that is the court, that is the stadium you can get in on a ground pass. So he always has plenty of crowd support, and there is no doubt he will have that again tonight. There'll be other Aussies in action today like Thanasi Kokkinakis, and they will be trying to get Australia off on a positive note here on day 2 because it wasn't the best day for Aussies yesterday. There were 4 local hopes in action on day 1, and unfortunately all 4 were knocked out of the Open. It certainly was a wild day 1 of the Australian Open. Thunderstorms swept through Melbourne Park, and it delayed play on the outside courts for about 6 hours. So that means today it is going to be a bit of a manic Monday as they try and churn through these matches. However, the Australian Open organisers do have, of course, that extra day up their sleeve, now starting a day earlier on Sunday. Jane.
There is nothing more Melbourne than that bright sunshine to start the Open and that ending for yesterday's play, Christine, is there. Thank you.